Okay, everybody. So here's number 3. So what we had to do, we had to do a little running around. I went to company everybody goes to for small things, and I found this little kit here. It's a Dorman right there. That's the name of the kit, and it came with. I actually couldn't find it at the place. It's a big store place. So basically, it's a whole bunch of T-fittings here, vacuum fittings. And that's what it broke. It broke a vacuum line in the back where I was trying to connect everything. I don't know where I have that little piece, but I don't have it. But to cut the line also, the metal line going to it, I use one of these. And it's a pipe cutter. It's a tubing cutter. So I put it around, I cut the tube, done. So then I cut the tube, and then all I had to do was all I had to do is get in there, and no hands, no reach, no nothing. So I did it a lot with a needle nose. Oh, here it is. I did a lot with a needle nose. So you'll hold it on one end, and then you put a T-fitting. So this is the T-fitting that I use. That's the size you have to use. It's supposed to be at an angle, but I couldn't find that exactly, so I just did it this way, and then I ran the hose this way. I'm going to show you what I did. So I grabbed the hose, and I squeezed this on, and I grabbed the other hose and squeezed it on this way, and then I held it again, and then squeezed it on this way. So I put a little WD-40 on one just to get it on because it was so darn tight. Try to get it on past this part right here. It makes a nice seal, so you get it past all three, and all three. That's what you should do. So that's the kit you have to use. And I also picked up some of these to fix my fan. These are good to have. Wood roof key assortments. It's little keys that you wedge in there, and then you put that'll prevent the shaft from moving. Then you pin it down. That's another different thing. That's nothing to do with Jeeps, but my fan motor's going bad, so I'm just trying to help her out a little bit, try to buy some time. So I'm going to switch it around this way. So on this side, here we go. I don't know if I have a light. Let me go grab a light. It's really hard to tell in there where I'm at, and then I'm going to get a pointer. Okay, so we're looking down here. So let me get a light and a ow. Pointer. Hold on, I'm sneaking under my lift here. God, it sucks to get old. So, in the back here, you really can't even see what I'm doing. So in the back here, that's where the connection of the vacuum line broke. The vacuum fitting that controls this code here. Now, so what I did was I put the vacuum lead in there, the T. I ran a hose right here. If you notice, the hose goes here up to a metal line. And then what I did was the metal line was thinner than the hose, so I put heat shrink on it. Piece of heat shrink that I got from another kit. I need a bigger shop. This is ridiculous. This is like too tight. So I'm going to show you what I did. So I used a piece of heat shrink. I had a different piece. It was much bigger than this. It was a little bigger than this. So I had put that over the hose, and I slid as far as I could on the metal line as I could. And then I put a piece of heat shrink on there and heated it up, and it shrank around everything. Makes a decent seal. You want no leaks. And then I also took a little hose clamp, and where the hose came to the metal line, I clamped it also down. Now I'm going to show you. You really can't see what I did because I blended it in with some paint. So right there, if you could see the line I ran, you could see in there. I don't know if you really could see in there. It's hard. It's deep in there. There's the fitting, sort of. I don't know if you can see it or not. So that's where I had to get my hands in. And then I ran the hose, and I zip tied it there, and then I blended in a piece of heat shrink that went over a steel line. I'm going to show you from the bottom half. Let me kind of go up. So with these big paws, it's not easy to do. And okay, so that's that. And so what I did is, let me go grab my light, and I'm going to show you the other side up in the back half, where that's where we were working. So that should be enough light to see what you're doing a little bit. So in the back half here, I'll get a pointer. So on the back half here, the hose goes over. I heat shrinked it all the way up to the metal line, way up to here. And a little bit of glue comes out at the very end to make a nice seal. I clamped it at the top here, and then ran the steel line all the way back and zip tied it in a couple areas. So when the suspension goes up and down, it doesn't rip up anything. It goes this way. If you noticed, this just sucks when you have to do this kind of stuff. But I blended it in, I just painted everything, and I blended it in this way, and it goes up underneath the skid plate for the transmission, or cross member, whatever you want to say in technical terms. Up into there, I ran a couple zip ties, and then I ran it to the hose up front. The hose up front is right up top here. I don't know if you can see my pointer. Nope, you can't. Hold on a second. Let's go up. Let's turn the lights up this way. Dang, that's a lot of light. So right where right above this is the hose. So if you notice right here, if you can really see it good, I don't know if my pointer's here. Right here, all I did was slide on. That was fine. That fitting, that hose was fine. That was nice and tight here. I don't know why one side is different than the other, but that will lead all the way up to the front. That's where all your switches are for your EVAPs, codes, and everything. EVAP codes are very hard to get rid of. You can't have any leaks. So now we're going to reset the light and take it for a drive. So it usually takes about 100 miles, leave it under half a tank, and that's about it. And then if the code clears, you know you got it. If not, then you're going to have to run that service port and look for any kind of small vacuum leaks. That's all she wrote, man. So, and I only painted it in because I want to blend in, so you don't even look like you have a repair done. You did repair, but why make it look obvious? Make it look clean and nice. I'm going to find some gloss and gloss it in, or undercoat it in. I think, no, that's paint. I usually like to paint the lines. Usually you undercoat them, and then you go grab the undercoating, and you get your digits all like this, man. It's all messed up. So I did find that little section in the help section in like a very old parts store. I found it on the way back on 22. So can't name no names, but it was an awful happy store. Another name for happy might be, I don't know, Joy. Oh, that's right, Joy. Joy's another, and it would be a parts store, so put those two together, and there you go. I didn't name a name, but I kind of put it together, so I don't like to be copyrighted until people are paying me. That's the way it works. So that's all done. I'm going to just spray a little bit of enamel on that. That's it. Throw the tire on, reset, and that's it. That cleared. That's all 5 or 6 codes that you had in the beginning. Remember, it had a misfire code, and an O2 sensor code, and it had an EVAP code. Now, the O2 sensor had like 3 or 4 codes, but it's the same thing. It was the same oxygen sensor that was cut. Well, obviously, it wasn't working, and it was the wrong sensor in there. So now it monitored everything. So now, to do this, you have to reset it. It'll monitor everything again. And then as it sees, no problem, it sets a green little light on your scanners and any little bubbles. You hit green, you're good. Once you're done, you're done. Then you won't have an engine light on. And that was so simple, but it was $7 for the kit, and I had the line. That's probably a $20, $30 line, but I just threw it in there. I had it on stock. And a little hose clamp and a piece of heat shrink. So to me, it cost me $7 today. So $7 fix an engine code. The end. So now that's it. Now we're going to work on the ABS. We're going to get the ABS ring. We're going to order the ABS ring for the passenger side and this U-joint on this side. Then we're going to pop the shafts out, repair the ring on that side. Maybe just put a new ring on this side too. Maybe I can get a double ring and put in 2 news. While the U-joint's on, I might put a fresh ring in there. It's probably cheap enough. It'll probably run me about $50 for that and that. Now the labor is going to take a little bit of time to get it out, but we're going to get them out. And then the ABS code will be off of this thing, and then you got a clean Jeep. There's nothing else I need to do right away. The brake line in the back should be replaced, and it goes to the block that goes through the axles. So there's a block that one line goes in, one goes to the right wheel, one goes to the left wheel. So that block needs to be cleaned up, and the hose needs to be replaced, bled, and you're done. That's the only recommendation after that. And after that, you just start changing oil, greasing it, rotate the tires, do your normal maintenance on it. This vehicle will be back to normal. Interior is very nice. The plow is off. The repairs, one repair on the frame was done. It's good enough. I mean, it's a nice everyday vehicle that could use for a long time. And also, I think by doing that ABS ring, the transmission is going to shift perfect. We should be able to shift second, baby. So keep on watching. See what's going on tomorrow. Bye.